You're tuning into Unleash Your Inner Goddess, hosted by me, Sarah Joy Tyndall. All about getting out of your own fucking way, unlocking our truest potential, and living a happier life. You know that time in your life where things didn't work out or go as planned? Maybe you didn't get that job you went for, or someone chose not to work with you. You had a refund that a client requested. Maybe a friend had drifted away. And did you then start to second guess yourself and your worth? Did doubt creep in and you started to think, shit, maybe I'm not cut out for this? Or they've clearly found someone better to work with. I knew I was no good. Or you start to worry about your pricing or your delivery, what you said when you made that offer. It all starts circling in your head. Clearly, having to give refunds means I'm terrible at what I do. What if they all want refunds? I'm in a mess. Or I mustn't be a good person if said friend doesn't even want to talk to me. I bet all my friends just put up with me and they don't really like me. Sound familiar? This is what I like to call the second arrow syndrome. And it's when you're hit with that first arrow, the thing that didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. So not getting that promotion, having a client turn you down, your kid getting in trouble at school, that sort of thing. That is the first arrow. The second arrow hits you when you start second guessing what you said, or wondering what you did, or what perhaps you didn't say or do, and replaying those events, again and again in your head. Judging yourself, judging your skills, your personality, your parenting ability, the list goes on. How many times have you got into a heated debate or an argument, right? And afterwards you're replaying the scenario in your head over and over with all the alternative endings and, oh man, I wish I'd said this. And, if only they'd seen my point of view. It keeps you in that emotional state, right? Of being mad, angry, and upset. That is your second arrow. And it can even happen on a micro scale. You're late dropping the kids off at school, you've hit traffic, and you spend the day ruminating that you're a bad parent. If only you were capable of getting everyone out the door in time. And you feel like a fucking failure because everyone else seemingly has their shit together. Why don't I? That's the second arrow. The second arrow often hurts more than the first one. And we shoot it ourselves. And quite often I shot myself with a second arrow. In fact, I must have carried a dozen second arrows around with me at one point. And I criticised the fact I was a poor timekeeper, that I swore too much, heaven forbid someone didn't like it. That was my people-pleasing trait and it was huge. I'd kick myself if I got a parking ticket or if I'd burnt dinner. If I thought someone didn't like my opinion or if I forgot to do something. And these were all on that micro level. Never mind when something didn't work out that was big. And my head was filled with criticism, negativity, and self-loathing. I was wounding myself with my own harsh words. And we've all done it. But the real art is catching yourself before you draw that arrow and learning from the events that happened prior. What good is belittling and criticizing yourself? You wouldn't do it to a friend, a family member, or a child. You'd help them move forwards with compassion and empathy, yet we don't often treat ourselves in the same way. When was the last time a friend didn't get the job they went for? Or a family member didn't secure a client they wanted? Did you tell them they weren't good enough? Or that they didn't try hard enough? I hope not. No, I imagine you told them that there's always next time, they are amazing at what they do, and said boss or client is missing out and something better is around the corner. Next time something doesn't go to plan or you start to wonder if you said or did the right thing, pause, take a moment and ask yourself 3 questions. Is what I'm thinking actual fact? What can I learn from the situation? Can I control the outcome? Okay, so we're acknowledging, we're asking, and we're taking action. Example, you think you said the wrong thing to a friend and have upset them. You are worrying what they think of you and if they still like you. Okay, question 1, is what I'm thinking fact? I don't know for sure that I said the wrong thing or if my friend actually took it the wrong way and is upset. I didn't intend for what I said to upset them in any way. Question 2, what can I learn from the situation? Well, I could find out for sure if my friend is upset by reaching out and asking. This way I know how they feel and can move forward accordingly. Can I control the outcome? Question 3. No, I can't control what happens next or how my friend responds, but I can take those steps to find out rather than just sitting here worrying. Quite often we, quote unquote, always say the wrong thing, or we are always late, forgetful, or always getting turned down at work. And when we think of these things as, just the way they are, it's just the way it is, we are actually putting ourselves in victim mode. We need to look at how we can put ourselves back in the driver's seat and taking some control back. We don't have to, quote unquote, always be something if we don't want to be. But also, even when you make a mistake or get it wrong, being kind to yourself is paramount. We need to remember that mistakes are just that. They're mistakes. We can get up, dust ourselves off, and go again. No one is perfect, and we don't need to become a victim. If you find yourself wounded with that second arrow, acknowledge, ask, and take action. Is what I'm thinking actual fact? What can I learn from the situation, and can I control the outcome? Acknowledge, ask, and take action. If this was useful, you might want to consider getting on my waitlist for my brand new course, Elevate. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it, and the link will be in the show notes. Right, so it's going to help you quieten that negative internal chatter, that criticism, and move towards a new way of being where you are elevated, focused, and able to move forwards. I want you to take a second and imagine no longer feeling overwhelmed, overstretched, and no longer dragging yourself down at every hurdle. Because that shit is exhausting. It's time to shift into a new way of being. Living each day for you, beautifully balancing the important things in your life, the people and the things that bring you joy, right? And the focus to go after what you want and the life you want to live. Elevate is my 12-step system that will bring you everyday ease, a rock-solid mindset, and give you more energy to focus on what matters most. I'm telling you this because the waitlist is now open, and it's for those who want to grab access to Elevate first and grab it while it's heavily discounted. It'll be released in March 2022, and I absolutely cannot wait. The link you need is sjh.app/Elevate waitlist, and it'll be in the show notes along with those 3 questions to ask yourself when you notice that you're lining up that second arrow. Remember, acknowledge, ask, and take action. If you found today's podcast useful, I'd love it if you would leave me a rating and subscribe so you don't miss any further episodes. Have a great day.